Aubrey, you ain't got nothing to say? You got such a big mouth when I'm going. What you got to say? Say it now.
I got your wig, ho. You're mad. Miss Wig. I got your wig, ho. I got your wig, ho. Miss Wigiana.
We are hearing from new witnesses as the sex trafficking and racketeering trial against Sean Diddy Combs continues today. Yesterday, Dawn Richard, a former member of the pop group Danity Kane, took the stand. And she testified that she witnessed Combs beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, on multiple occasions. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. What else did we learn from Dawn Richard? And I'm wondering what really stood out to you during her testimony, the type of thing we don't see in the transcripts.
Yeah. Good morning, Errol. I mean, what really stood out was her stories of the abuse that she witnessed. There was one in particular she told about a time when Cassie Ventura was making eggs for Sean Combs at his house. Dawn Richard was there along with Kalina Harper. They were in a trio with Sean Combs called Danity Kane, or sorry, it was Diddy Dirty Money.
As far as for you, Dawn, I still want to make music with you. I still want you to be signed to the label. And, you know, if I decide to put that together, Danity Kane, then, you know, you'll be the only member that'll still be there.
She's bald.
That's good. She looks good. So what made you decide to cut the hair?
That was, you know, that's Puff. You know that ain't a Dawn decision. Yeah, no, I'm Last Train to Paris. I am on that project, and it is a new epic story. And, you know, Puff is about, you know, fashion forward, moving forward in fashion, going a different way. And Danity Kane was a very different journey. And this is a whole new aspect on music, on everything. So the transition is this.
So do you feel you're changing your whole look or probably just the hair?
You know, I think this, actually the hair kind of is still me. It's very me. It's just a side that I think the world didn't see because I was a part of a group and I respected that. So I played a role in that. You know what I mean? Like I respected what that was in a group, so that was what I played. In this situation, it's not about a role. It's more of a loose ends joint, a loose ends joint. So it's more like I get to live in a different head. I get to be freer. You know, and I respect, you know, I know my transitions. I know when it's time to respect a person in their space. So in Danity Kane, that was very that. This is very different. So I get to live way bigger, sing bigger, have a different swagger. It's way more fun. It's way looser, you know, because that's Puff. So
are you in the studio working on your solo project now?
No, it's not. See, that's the thing. Everybody's misled with that. It's not a solo project. I'm in a group called Dirty Money. It's another girl in Puff and me. It's not a background thing where it's two girls in the back and him. We singing on all the joints. It's very different than what you used to. But I'll let him talk more of that because I don't want to give the whole journey, but that's kind of what it is. But it's a different thing. You're going to be proud of it. It's not anything what you're used to of hearing. But I've been writing. I'm writing on it.
What's it called again?
It's called Last Train to Paris. The name of the group is Dirty Money.
Who's the other girl? Who's the other
Her
girl?
name's Kalina. She's a writer. She's amazing. She's wrote for every person you could ever imagine. And now he's giving her the opportunity. And it's two chocolate sisters. It's not what you think. It's very different. And I'm proud of it. Proud of the work. I'm proud of my writing. How I've learned to transition. Like The Boy Sung Perfectly Blind. Q and I wrote that. Very pleased with that. So I was jamming in the crowd. I was like living. Because it's just a new thing for me. You know?
What up, world? It's your boy Diddy here, and as you can see, most definitely, I'm here with a special announcement. Matter of fact, a special introduction. I know, you know, the word's been bubbling about Dirty Money, and I want to like kind of set the record straight. Dirty Money is not about, you know, no drug money or illegal money, anything like that, anything negative. Dirty Money is a look, a sound, a feel, a movement, you know, a crew. For my new album, Last Train to Paris, I wanted to do something refreshing, something unique, something forward for myself, you know, and myself as an artist. And I play best on the team, you know. I'm a team player, you know. So I wanted to tell a story, this love story about, you know, finding love, losing love, and then trying to find love again. And I couldn't just tell the male's point of view. I needed to tell the female's point of view. I grew up listening to groups like Soul to Soul and Loose Ends, and it was always like, you know, two guys and a girl. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, let me flip it. Let me get two talented bad chicks, bad divas to the left and to the right of me. This is Dawn, as you know.
Hey, yeah.
Boom. It's Kalina.
Hey, yeah.
And you know, this is a special project, you know. They both got their solo things going on, but we got together on this last train to Paris to do something special. So the name of the crew is Dirty Money, all right? So it's not the Dirty Money Girls. Y'all ain't gonna leave me out. I'm a part of Dirty Money, okay? This is Dirty Money. You're looking at it right here. Sean, Dawn, and Kalina. You know what I'm saying? And I chose the name Dirty Money because Dirty Money is just so raw, it's so real, and that's really the sound that we kind of giving off on this album.
He was in multiple groups with Sean Combs, and she saw Sean Combs come down, attempt to hit Cassie with a frying pan, and then saw him drag her upstairs, and she heard the sounds of beating. But one thing that was significant about Rashard's testimony is this was the first time we saw a really aggressive cross-examination from Combs' team. They were poking holes in her story, Errol, showing different times that she told it. There were interviews with the government and how the narrative changed a bit each time. But one thing that stood out to me is she said that she tells the story as she remembers it, and that the more she thinks about that time, the more she has remembered. That it was a really difficult moment in time for her, a terrible work environment, and memories that she repressed. And it reminded me of something that Cassie Ventura said in a statement that her lawyer read after her testimony about how the more she remembers, the more she heals. And she said the more she remembers, she can also never forget. And so I think there is also something with survivors where they repress these memories, and we're hearing that from these witnesses on the stand.
You've always been a great singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
You know,
and
yo, you've endured, I think, like if there's ever been a litmus test, or, you know, if you had to prove yourself in this business, I don't think anyone has had to undergo as much as you have through this career.
They probably have, but you know, that's dope that you said that. I don't know who would stick around as much as with the battleships and everything that's gone on. But what's cool, I think that's just my journey. I don't know what it is about this industry where when you do have a little talent, you have to prove it. It's like the more talent you have, the more you have to prove you belong in the situation. And that's something that I'm finding more and more. Like not only it's like most of the artists here don't write. No. Most of them don't dance. Most of them don't sing. Well, either way, I mean, you know, but I'm saying
they can't sing. You don't have to say it. We'll say it. They can't sing.
But no, like it's real talk. And not only have I had to do, I mean, I started out on a show where we had to do all three. Yeah. Like out the gate, and it was something that was very much like. It was broadcast and laughed at and scrutinized, and then after we did all that, they still didn't take us seriously. Well, you know,
it's
we were a gimmick.
It seemed like it was a put together band for TV,
of course,
but nothing beyond that.
Right, but what's crazy is when you know Puff's reputation, I don't think you ever thought of him to be anything else. If it was someone that wasn't known for being a hard ass, then maybe I would have understood. But he was definitely someone that had a reputation to be difficult.
Well, let me ask you a question. If I'm gonna keep probably cutting you off, I don't mean to be rude.
Totally,
but,
no.
All right, but work with me. I've seen Puff spaz out on people to the point where my heart jumped, like, you know, and I'm a grown ass man. It was like, damn, I'm glad I'm not on the other end of that. What's the worst time you ever seen him spaz out?
Yo, I'm about to air out our dirty laundry.
Okay.
So yo, we were coming to rehearsal in New York. We were doing Saturday Night Live. Yeah. And Kalina and I didn't know we had rehearsals. And we were asking everybody, yo, when's rehearsals? They didn't know. We get to SIR Studios and Puff on us. He spazzes out on us. Like, and he was like, we all don't want it. He always go with the y'all don't want it, the Jedi mind treatment. He makes you believe that you suck all to hell. And you've been working all hours of the night, and me and him got in a huge.
What did he say to you, like verbatim?
I can't even go into detail. He was like, y'all bitches don't want it. Y'all don't want it. And I was like, Puff, why are you talking so loud? And I've kind of always, been respectful. I've never really went too out of line with Puff. I threw my purse down. I was like, well, you want to go, we can go. There was this chess battle that happened between him and I think everybody's eyes was like Dawn. Like D-Rock was looking at me like, little bit.
We were in the Hamptons. We were in the studio in New York City, and I was with Dirty Money. At this time, I was around Dirty Money for about a year while they were creating Last Train to Paris. And I guess I was around because I was dating Dawn. I just happened to be around. So Diddy's like, I think he was very, very high. He's like, we're going to go to the Hamptons. He was like, we're going to go stay the night there and you guys want to come. And it felt very weird because this energy just felt so weird. You know what I mean? It was friendly high. You know what I'm saying? Like a friendly invitation to something.
He wasn't usually like that?
No, he's never invited all of us to one of his houses. So before we get to the Hamptons, they're like speeding in these black SUVs on the expressway very, very fast. Like they were in a rush to get to the Hamptons. We get to the Hamptons and we walk through the house and we arrive in the backyard near the pool. And my ex at the time, which was Dawn, she gave me an ecstasy pill. And she said...
Is that what she said it was?
Yeah, she said it was ecstasy. And she said it was from Puff to give to me. And it was red. And I took it because I thought I was going to get freaky with my girlfriend. You know, we tried ecstasy before. And I trusted her that's what it was. So I took it immediately and she had one too. He gave her two of them. I took mine. Within like 20 minutes, I knocked out and blacked out. Yeah. I woke up in the twins' bedroom in the basement, and I woke up out of my sleep screaming very, very loud.
Who are the twins?
I don't know their names.
Are you talking about Diddy's daughters?
Twins.
Okay.
Yeah. Diddy's twins. His girls. Yeah, I woke up in their bed to cameras filming me, and they were laughing as I woke up out of my sleep, screaming. And it felt like, I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. It's understandable that you're reliving this and emotion comes with it. There's just no way around it. So it
felt very sacrificial. That's what I meant when I said I felt like they were trying to hurt me or Diddy was trying to maybe sacrifice me that night. I didn't say when I went on Vlad TV, I didn't say anything about finding a sacrificial email.
Hold on. What he's discussing in regards to Vlad TV is that's one of the interviews that the boys did. He had to leave gaps within that interview, and they decided to fill those gaps. It's kind of what I've experienced this past week. As you guys know, we started this out, and it was, we all have this intention to talk our way through to the end of this trial and hopefully see justice for whatever is proven and whatever the jury decides. Even you had situations that were just made up out of nowhere. So did I last week. Q's discussing one in which he couldn't say certain things because he's honoring a contract. And within that, people decided to fill in the blanks. So he discussed an email. He had tears. People put it together that he's crying over an email and what it basically tried to suggest that he's not a man and he's boo-hooing over an email and so on and so forth.
Boozy said something crazy. I don't mean to stop you. Boozy said...
You have to explain who everybody is.
So Little Boozy is a rapper, and respectfully, I want to say to him, like that's not... You shouldn't have said that I wanted to get effed by Diddy or that's possibly the reason why I'm crying. You know what I mean? That's messed up. You don't know me at all, Mr. Boozy. And you didn't hear the story that I just told. And if you would have heard that, maybe you would have had a different reaction. And to Chopper and to Stevie J, who also responded respectfully.
So basically, these are all people. They are all colleagues of Q's in the industry.
Yeah, I just want to say respectfully to them, just don't believe everything before you actually hear the truth, because people edit things, and I don't have nothing bad to say about them at all. I just want them to just understand that. Be respectful to everyone's trauma. You don't know when a person is still healing and going through the process of healing.
Yes.
And you can add, you don't know if I'm still thinking like I want to hurt myself or I'm scared and thinking someone's going to, all those mental thoughts. You don't know what I'm going through for you to say those mean things to just add on to my mental health.
I know there are some details about the incident you described. Maybe you don't want to get into. And
no, let's get into it.
Okay, we can.
Talk.
Can I go with how, I know you can be open about how it made you feel, right? So you're saying after this particular incident, you left there feeling, you called it sacrificial, but you felt as if they
were going to hurt me in my sleep because I woke up screaming. I woke up out of my sleep screaming. So what I mean by it felt like sacrificial, it felt like someone was trying to hurt me or take me out because I possibly couldn't have woke up out of my sleep that night.
Do you know what happened to you?
I woke up screaming like a girl to the top of my lungs on a high pitch.
Well, did you have clothes on?
I think I was in my shorts because I remember jumping into a swimming pool.
But do you believe that some of what happened to you was recorded on one or many of these iPhones?
Oh, yeah. I saw phones and lights. It wasn't a video camera. It was a phone camera light.
So there are people who do know what happened to you, and there's a reason you believe why they're not telling you?
Yes.
No, you not. You ain't going no leave. You are dedicated to Q, my kids depend on you. And I know that. Why don't y'all see that I know that? I don't care if you depending on you, man. Are you finna throw the away? Listen, son, can I please talk for 5 seconds? It's a real. I'm not going anywhere. I know they listen, son. Day 26 is my first priority. Just because I want to get better at dancing, just because I'm using my time wisely, and you sit here and sleep, does not mean you guys can manipulate me like that and do that phony ass. That hurt. How could you look at me and say that? How could you look at me and say Q was wrong? No. How could you look at me and say that? Q, I always ask you every day, what's wrong?
Q has to calm down. What is going on?
I don't know what's wrong with
It's something deep.
It is. Trust me, it's deep. It's deep. It's real deep.
This whole thing just took a wrong turn for the worse, because we spend more time with each other than we spend with our own families. So nobody really knows what's going on anymore with each other or with you. And we asking, what is it? Because I care about you. I want you to tell, I really want to get to the bottom because in my mind, I see bad things happening. And I don't want that to happen to you.
I've heard from inside the courtroom that Dawn was very inconsistent and not credible, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, let's talk about Dawn. First, let's establish for our listeners what your relationship was and is with Dawn Richard. We know she was a former bandmate of yours, but who was Dawn to you?
As in her character?
Just your relationship, the two of you.
Dawn was my bandmate. And she's an incredibly talented woman.
Were you friends?
I thought we were. Yeah. You have to remember, I was the only child, and I was the youngest one in the group when everyone wasn't lying about their ages. So with that being said, I thought everybody in the group were my real sisters. I thought we were going to have each other's back till the end of time. That's not what has occurred. I am close with every girl in my group except for Dawn.
Okay, you had good times, is it fair to say? You all were close at one point and had good times that you thought were genuinely good times at the time.
There were moments that I had with Dawn that I felt were genuine. I learned otherwise that they weren't.
Okay, so why, if all your bandmates you're cool with, what happened that broke down the relationship with Dawn?
Oh, God, a multitude of things. Consistent patterns of inconsistency. Consistent patterns of truly just not understanding who was standing in front of me. My other bandmate and I went on tour with her long after Dirty Money, which is how I knew a lot about what occurred during Dirty Money, because she would openly discuss things that she saw happening to Cassie.
Wow.
Never told us anything happened to her.
Talk to Diddy?
Not as often as I'd like, but that's the homie forever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know that Puff had bought me out of a contract prior to even getting on the show. Like, it wasn't I chose Puff over my group at the time. It was more of, when someone does that, where I come from, you got to respect that on a large level. So I gave loyalty to him. All his crazy, I look at things like that as loyalty. So I was loyal to him, and I paid my dues back like a businesswoman should.
Right.
Until he said, okay, your dues are paid, and then I left.
And then, and we were given a lot of detail, but my bandmate and I would always kind of come back to each other when she'd walk away and be like, there were just so many inconsistencies. We just don't even know what happened in front of us.
So what you saw, or
it was
what
obvious to more people than just me.
Okay, what we read or what we heard from what her testimony was yesterday, and a lot of people were saying inconsistent, reads that's exactly the Dawn Richard that you knew.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
You and Dawn got into a fight. Dawn said she hit you.
She did.
She did hit you?
Yes. She did.
Was
Yeah.
it a punch, open hand slap?
She sucker punched me in the back of my head.
And what did you do back?
She left the room. I ran out. She ran out.
Like the white girl that I am, and I immediately got on my cell phone and I called the police.
I told her, I was like, I don't think I would have ran out.
I'm from Palm Springs, okay? It was drop, stop, grab your cell phone and call the
What'd
police.
you tell the police, though? How'd you describe
Call
it?
the police. I said her
She
name
did-
is
she
Dawn
took 15 minutes.
Richard. She likes to say it's Richard, but it's Richard. R-I-C-H-A-R.
Oh my God.
They asked if she was black or white?
No.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
And it's been a really difficult thing for you guys because we've seen all of it go, the lawsuits and all the craziness in the media. Where do you stand with like the other three members? Is there like love? Is there love lost? Like,
I feel the same way about any difficult time in my past or difficult situations or difficult people. You have to forgive yourself, you have to forgive them, and you have to just wish the best life possible for everyone around you, or you spend your life angry and miserable. It's such a waste of time. So
you can't let him get away with hitting you.
I think when you hit somebody, you never get away with it in your own heart and mind. That's something she has to live with, not me.
I mean, this is the thing. I never, let's clear up some of those misconceptions.
Okay.
Let's do that
Yeah.
because I know y'all got one earful of a story.
From Dawn.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
but
I mean, can I just speak first because I don't ever talk, and I have to say.
Let Shannon have the mic.
Shannon. Better yet, I talk, but people don't listen. Now you're gonna listen. No, but for real, like, there's a lot of
Okay, so Aubrey,
misconception.
listen,
Hey, shut up. I think you're gonna have to turn your microphone up. How do you spell E-Y-E-S? And what does that say?
Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead.
Okay, no, but for real, like, a lot of misconception about that day went down, and I just want to clear the air that there was no fallout, brawl, like heightened like situation. There was only one person who was acting erratic and cussing and sucker punched one other member, and that was it.
Now, for you, going back to Danity Kane, why did you decide to do that? Because you were doing pretty well.
I think for me, I wanted to kind of prove to myself that I could finish something.
Mhm.
It was kind of like one of those things where I thought it'd be dope to, like, if a lot of the fans wanted it, I thought maybe it'd be a really, really good idea to, like, have a girl group and be a part of something great, because there really was no girl group out right now doing anything. We could have done something really revolutionary, and it would have been dope to be a part of that. I mean, I'm always going to do music, so a solo career was like nothing to me. Like, I'm going to still do music, so I was like, this is an opportunity. The name is bigger. The brand is bigger. Why not do some shit you make way bigger, cross bigger lines, mainstream, by doing something that's bigger than me? So I wanted to try it again, you know what I'm saying?
And then things went left.
Yeah, it went more than left. It went all the way around and back again.
Why you always get the blame, though? It's like, okay, why isn't D Woods in the group? Because Dawn don't want her in the group. Why is the group breaking up this
That
time?
was
'Cause
such a
Dawn and
lie,
Aubrey
too.
don't
I
get
actually
together.
with D. So I don't know where that came from. I always liked her. We just never hit it off. But I never really had no problems with her. So I don't get that one.
And you and Aubrey were supposed to be cool, but then y'all
We
started
were
fighting.
cool. Yeah, nah, I think this is how I
You
feel
punched
about
her in
it.
the face.
This is how I feel about it. This is how I feel about it. And I'm going to be real with y'all, because I always do. Any team, anything you play in, anything from football to basketball, whatever, everybody has a role. A quarterback cannot decide tomorrow to say, I'm going to be a wide receiver. He might be a really great runner. But at the end of the day, when it's time to get this championship ring, everybody has to play a part.
Right.
The problem with Danity Kane is everybody wanted to play everybody's role. And when you're in a group like that, that can't survive. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be Kobe on a team.
So why did you punch her?
No, listen, real talk.
She keeps saying
No,
that.
I'm gonna no because no, there is no excuse for my behavior. But what I'm saying is, everybody gets pushed to a limit. I have been very good about like holding my ground. I had a role to play in this group. Everybody did. When something is poison and you go into the studio and people are literally going behind your back and lying to you and taking your vocals and doing things that are shady, that's foul.
Right.
And they knew that not only that, I found out my father had cancer. My grandmother died. And they knew this, and I was like, yo, all we have is the studio. This is all I have is this project. I believed in them. I'll go even deeper and tell you guys that I got sick. That they had a whole week to go in the studio by themselves, and I text them, and I was like, kill it. I love you guys. Y'all going to kill it. And whatever you leave open, I'm going to go in and record. They had a whole week in the studio by themselves. I came back and only recorded my parts. Did all the things that I normally do in the studio. We listened back, and they were like, it's too much you. It's too many ad-libs. And I was like, wait, y'all had a whole week.
Right.
I don't understand what I did wrong, you know? And so then it became a whole big old thing where take me off. It's too much. You're doing too many ad-libs. It's got to be the whole group. And I'm like, yo, but we could go to the top. Doesn't matter who's singing what.
Word.
And I walked in the studio, and they were secretly, they told me we had studio the next day, and they went in the day before and was like, gonna record the ad-libs I did. My vocals. And I walked in on them doing it. And I tried to confront them, and they were like, no, we're talking and putting hands in face. And I blacked out, and I couldn't believe that the only place that I really love was, I gave up everything like all of us did for like foul. I couldn't believe it. And so it's my fault, their fault, everybody. We just did not handle that situation great. And I think once that happened, had we did it privately, had I come back and apologized and we talked like this, and I'd have been like, look, dock my pay. We'll like, take my pay away. We'll do some like cool thing or whatever, and then we'll get back to it. I think we could have been okay. But once you go public,
right,
you hit up TMZ and you start, then I can't control it.
Was it an open hand or was it a two-piece?
Listen.
Did you do him like Diddy did Drake?
See how,
what
listen.
was it?
Nah, I hate everybody in this room. I hate everybody.
How did you know to go to the studio?
But the stereotypes, the producer hit me up and was like, the girls are coming in real quick. They didn't know that the girls didn't tell me. So they were just saying like, yo, this is what's going to happen. So I just rolled up and I wanted to show the stereotypes, the email telling me to come the next day, like the lie. And they got mad. They got caught in the lie. And mind you, the crazy part is it wasn't even like a ball out fight. It was like, I was angry. Yeah. And then I stopped and then I realized what I did. And she called the police and then didn't press charges. Right. Just documented it. And then the next day, TMZ had got a call. And then on my birthday, they released on my birthday that statement. And I was just like, so y'all ain't, and then they were like, we're done. And I was like, okay, so we done.
I don't understand sneaking behind a group member's back. Like, it's not, like if y'all were in a group, what's the point of going
I think
in
it was
the studio
beat.
and kinda
I think we were already, I think at the end of the day, we were already falling apart the moment we didn't come back as five.
You have to understand, we've been in business almost for about 12 years as a brand, and even through us splitting the first time, which was Diddy's call, we still maintain relevancy individually in the marketplace, and we've all been up here on our own with y'all,
Except Shannon.
Not Shannon.
Except Shannon.
Shannon
did do a project, but it was country, so she probably wasn't going to be rolling through here.
Yeah,
Bobby Bones probably.
Yeah. But when we came back together, we had hoped that a lot of the things from the past had changed, and they hadn't. And we were dealing with a situation where, if anything, bad habits were now ingrained into everyone. Everybody is at fault in some way or another. Nothing is ever one person's issue.
So what did you say that make us sucker punch
You did something, Aubrey.
Really, why we were in there was because there was another situation, another case of manipulation and lying and pushing the solo project over the group. We found out about it, and we were shooting a video the next day, and the information that we had was directly going to conflict with what was happening. So we were all asked to come to the studio and discuss it. We walked into the studio, we started having a discussion about it. She started getting crazy. She was sitting behind me, and I was just looking forward, discussing what was happening. Like, look, at this point, this is unhealthy. We're not on the same page. We need somebody to lead us. Like, this is the situation. These are the facts. We're not gonna be able to shoot a video because of what Homegirl has done. So can y'all fix this or figure it out? Because Shannon and I don't deserve to once again have to pick up the pieces of somebody's,
F up.
somebody's F up.
So who was going solo?
And then she
had a solo album.
You did, Dawn.
Dawn was, Dawn's always on her.
She
own
said you
grind.
guys were scheduling all kinds of studio
time without
sessions
her,
behind
yeah.
her back and not telling her about it. And
Listen, y'all want to know, like, straight up. I can fly it back 6 years ago to the first time that I really learned what it was. We were in the studio with Diddy. He came out and was like, everybody get on your laptops right now and tell the world to buy your new album, okay? So all of a sudden I get a text message from the girl who was a fan that ran my fan page, which was the, like, probably biggest site for all the Danity Kane users because I was in the first round of making the band. So I go downstairs. She asked me to meet up with her. I go downstairs, I meet up with her, and she's like, well, you know how there's this name Expithian, I think it was 14 or something like that, that's been on the blogs for the past year and a half that said that started the rumor that I slept with Diddy and leaked it to Sandra Rose or whatever it was. Started the started circulating cellulite on specifically D Woods, and I called D Woods on the forums a fat N-word.
D Woods don't got a lot of cellulite.
She doesn't have any cellulite. Girl is fit as hell.
Said you called her fat.
Said this person called D Woods that name.
Fat.
And
That'd be a
don't-
hot
you
little
guys-
group too.
I-
Dumb blondes and fat.
can you let her finish the story, please?
I'm sorry, again, sorry.
So, anyways, those are just like a few of the highlight specials of the nastiness that had been brewed up for a year and a half. And I was always telling this fan, kick them off the site, get rid of them, get rid of them. So all she can do is read the inside computer information, like all the IP addresses, etc., as a moderator. So, anyways, I go down there to some fan that I barely have met a couple times that was running the site. And she said to me, what's the computer that you just posted to everyone to buy your guys' new album? And I said, well, Diddy came in and he told us to get on the computer now. I don't have my laptop, so I went on Dawn's. Why?
What was the IP address?
And she said, that's the IP address of Expithian.
Round of applause.
So
Dawn.
she was
then-
using a
Well
code
played.
name to write nasty things?
So then I
Damn it, man.
So then I was like, this could be some hearsay. I don't know. I needed facts. So I ran upstairs while everybody was on a damn lunch break, typed in EXP, and Expithian 14 popped right up in her user box.
Wow.
So this is the thing, though.
Oh.
Had I told anyone at that time, our group would have been over because D Woods would have never played after that. She would have come at her real quick, especially after the type of vulgar disrespect that was being spoken about. Specifically, usually it was D Woods and I. So at that point, I didn't say anything because I wanted our group to work. And sometimes you have to put business in front of your feelings. After about 6 months, I think, again, the details of time are, I don't know how much time passed, but D Woods was on a phone call with Dawn. She was trying to manipulate her in some way. And I always stayed out of it because they always had beef and I stayed out of it. Dawn always had beef with D Woods. D Woods did not care. D Woods was fine doing her always.
Did you ever sit back and say these two catty black girls?
No.
Shut up, Shirley.
No, because we were all catty in different
Trying.
ways.
Right.
It wasn't a race thing. But anyway, long story short, D Woods got off the phone and Dawn didn't hang up her phone properly. And she was, again, cursing out D Woods, making slurs, doing all kinds of crazy shit. And D Woods saw it for herself. And then that's when I sat down with D and was like, yo, this is the truth that I've known for a while. This is what we're dealing with. And then literally the next time they were in the same room together, they almost fought.
Really?
D Woods went off. Now, and I knew that would happen, which is why I didn't tell everyone what had happened earlier. Dawn left when D Woods confronted her, took off for 2 days, and then came back and said she didn't know what was happening, so she just left and went to figure it out. And then when she came back, she told us that it was her boyfriend that had done it the whole time.
God is the joy and the strength of my life.
That's right. Connect with us. Come on.
He moves all pain,
Connect with us.
misery, and strife.
Connect with us, Dawn. You got to connect with us.
He promised to keep me, never to leave me.
Come on, let it happen.
He's never ever fallen short of his word.
Why you hold on to
I
it?
gotta fast and pray.
Come on, open your eyes. Come on, come on.
Stay in the narrow
Open up.
way.
Open up.
Keep my life clean.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I want to go with him when he comes back.
Open your eyes. Come on with us.
I've come too far.
Come on with
and I'll
us.
never turn back. God is my all.
If you knew
Crazy,
all this,
right?
If you knew all this about Dawn, why when y'all came back together as a group? Why bring her in the group and not
Because
D Woods?
no, it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't even money because we never make any. I mean, everybody else
make no money.
The first time,
were
listen, the
signed
first
to
round,
Diddy.
we had.
You let Shannon, you talk. Go.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, we have 2 platinum albums, let alone grossed over $1 million on Christina Aguilera's Back to Basics tour's opening for her, and we came off that tour $15,000 in debt.
The
And we
group that it
weren't
was.
being paid. I mean,
It was honest.
don't get it twisted.
We looked
Diddy
back
doesn't-
and it was what it was.
Diddy didn't never send the check. We never got a big
Yeah, like it was honest.
payment. I never
Yeah.
moved, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We had to like each other without getting paid. We had to
Right.
like each other genuinely because we believed in creating something that was powerful for women
Yeah.
and for society in general, but specifically because we're a girl group for women.
It's a sad thing like that people don't know
Diddy?
about this business.
Round of applause to you, Diddy.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Diddy.
I mean, really.
Diddy is like Mayweather and the iPhone. You know what you're gonna get, but we still keep signing up.
And then when you got into her testimony, it seems like she was inconsistent and not credible as what's being reported.
So when we heard Dawn testify and the access she says she had to Diddy and to Cassie and what she saw and what she witnessed, that was different than the access that you and your other bandmates had? Did she have a different relationship with Diddy and with Cassie than you all did?
She did not suggest that she ever did when asked, long after Dirty Money.
But you all at the time had no idea she was sexually involved whatsoever with Diddy.
Absolutely not. I saw many things that were showing me that a complete opposite narrative. So when I saw it, I was shocked. And then when I started to speak to my other colleagues from making the band, I began to learn who my bandmate was.
Would she be qualified? She has a lawsuit. I think she's alleging sexual battery, I think is what she's saying, against Diddy.
Assault, but the assault that she alleges in her lawsuit is that during a fitting, he touched her inappropriately in areas. And all the other things that she alleges in her lawsuit are things that happened on making the band. We had to stay up for days at a time. We weren't eating. We were losing weight. I mean, all of those things were kind of like televised to the world.
So did any of the girls been told to lose weight ever?
Yeah.
Oh.
We were told not to put a morsel of food in our mouth for the video.
Yeah.
He'll walk around and be like
5'10".
He'll be like 3 pounds. We're like, just cut your hair.
He'll be like, just 2 pounds. I'm like, 2 pounds?
It's a big thing that the entertainment industry in general, I know you focused on it so much in modeling and
all the
especially in the
time.
entertainment industry. It's a big thing that we face as artists, as models, anything in entertainment. I think it's unfortunate because weight is beautiful.
Yeah. And I say to Diddy, yeah, your band was maybe a little thick and sexy and chunky and chubby, but Diddy, so what?
First of all, Shannon, let's talk about the choice of it. Hair color change, and is this something you feel you want to stay with?
I really like it. I mean, I love being blonde too, but I like it.
I hate it.
You?
Yeah. I think it makes you look hard. It puts age on you, unnecessary age. You're a very beautiful girl. You, Andrea, you look pleasantly plump here. I mean, in person, you don't really look like this. I don't know if it's the way the picture was taken.
Because the traffic kind
But also your hair, overly glamorous. Like where it's just a lot of hair. It's a lot of fake hair, a lot of fake eyelashes, a lot of makeup. And we'll get to you in a second with that, Aubrey. But,
I'm curious why you decided to speak up now. I would say that this moment now is a time where I feel like my experience, my truth will really be heard and actually considered and believed.
While the world watched her climb the charts with hits like Showstopper and Damaged, D Wood says she was living in fear under the glare of reality TV cameras on Making the Band.
It was not a good experience.
Gotta see what Nita does. Hand down to the boots. Did Debbie do Dallas?
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little sick?
It's no secret, I'm built differently than these other girls. And if he didn't see that before, he really sees it now because it's 1 against 4. I'm a thick girl on the bottom. I'm working out, I'm running. I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
Picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you.
How are you dealing with that?
I just had to bite my tongue and let somebody disrespect me in ways that I never imagined, like totally disgusting, totally just grotesque, like about the different parts of my body. Sometimes you're so angry that it brings you to tears, and then also not being able to stand up for myself. Because I knew standing up for myself right now is probably going to bring on more severe, treatment.
You want to show all your skin. You want to be naked. But the whole concept of Danity Kane was like, when it comes together, it's one.
Puff's going hard on the group, and then all of a sudden he singles me out and starts going on and on about how unhappy he is with me. And I just feel like nothing that I do, he's ever happy with.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
Puff, I'm done with all of that.
No. What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair.
Puff,
you like a lot of makeup and all that.
Aubrey came into my hotel room and told me that she ran into Puff in person and he had pulled her in close, and he said, "Now you're hot enough that I can you. I can now." It was like a moment of shock, a moment of your stomach turning, a moment of just like, we're definitely in over our heads. And then all of a sudden it was this mandatory meeting that needed to happen. We thought we were off. We thought we had finished filming. It was just like, what in the entire? So what do you think is gonna happen tomorrow?
Nah, I don't work these amount of years to have you talk to me this way.
I'm not meaning
So
to
I don't want you in the group
disrespect
no
you.
more. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
All right, because I don't want to even have to have this conversation. And anybody else that want to go with her could go with her. You seem like at the end of the day, you're not really happy in the situation. Based on a lot of things that I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you could go too.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
I respect your decision.
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
Mm-hmm. And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
Wow. When you look back on that, how does that make you feel?
You know, I have such a love-hate with it all because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
He was the hardest person that you can work for.
In there, come on. I need you to put yourself in that nightclub. Be right there. You're in a crowded club, and it's this one cat. You know what I'm saying?
Is there any way that I could turn this so I could look? Because that helps me. I'm like, to get the performance.
Oh, man, if you don't sing that damn song, ain't nobody trying to sing the song, girl.
And it was torture, and not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games, like just all the girls were so divided, and the men and the people running it had their hands in it, moving everything. There was a lot of betrayal. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of, you know, when you're young and impressionable, and we understand our beauty as women through the eyes of the people observing us. Well, who's observing us? Men.
We're gonna go with Shannon and Cowie. Okay.
They can stay up all night.
Okay. Cut the music. What in the hell is going on? White girls can dance now, ain't got asses? What in the hell is going on?
You heard
White
that?
girls
Black
can
girls,
dance now, ain't got asses.
So we learn our beauty through a man's eye, which is very subjective. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around.
I love all of you guys. I can do. I just want to say I'm proud of you, Dawn, and I'm so happy that he believed in you enough to move on with you.
Yeah, very shocked. I don't think we all even saw this coming.
You're still kind of shocked, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, in case you didn't think this is real, this is very real, ladies and gentlemen. This their lives. You know, Don, you said that you can't be a group if you don't trust each other. Why? What made you say that?
I think it's just in any marriage, and I think most importantly with us, we are a business. This is our lives, and I think trust is one of the most important things beyond communication, and I think once you start losing that, that can affect your brand, that can affect your family. And I think that's what even Aubrey and all of us were talking about, with it, whether it be with the label and us, whether it be with Danity, Kane, ourselves. Communication and trust is so important. And if you don't have that, you don't have a common level to stand on. And we were standing on rocky ground to begin with.
The whole time.
Yeah, so.
You can even tell, though. I mean, you could tell, but not
within each other.
Not, yeah, just
like
anything. This business is extremely hard.
It's a
and,
business,
you know,
period.
if you're not, you know, if you, once again, we all were competitors. People fail to realize we were 5 different personalities trying to get in and make it work. We're real. We've put our whole lives out here, so you know, we're not gonna fake it.
Okay.
We're gonna tell you the real what's going on. It doesn't mean it can't be fixed, though.
Okay, well, that's what it's like on stage. Off stage, Shannon, let me ask you this. Do you feel like the group still needs to be a family even when you guys are off the stage?
I feel like we are a family, and that's why we have moments where we don't get along. I have times with my husband, if you guys saw that, you'd be like, oh, they're not gonna last. But I'm married to the man till the day I die, so I'm just, that's the truth of this. That's why I'm so shocked that this has come to what it has come to, because real families do have problems. I'm sure y'all don't get along with your mom, your brother, your sister, your father on 24/7. So that's why I'm really shocked that it came to basically a dismantle situation over beefs, and I'm still very shell shocked by it all.
This is the time to get it off your chest. One thing about you, Shannon, you've always been positive about the group's potential.
Sure.
Okay, how do you two feel about the group's potential now, Andrea?
I'm honestly, I have no words. Like, I don't even know where to like look right now, or what to even really think.
What about you, Don?
I think people haven't even seen the potential of what this group can be, and I think we're strong women.
You're strong.
So I'm not scared.
Okay.
I know we'll get it together, and I know we will not just disappoint the fans, because at the end of the day, when no one was there, they were.
Andrea looked like she's gonna cry. Okay, and everybody, she always looks like that. What is your take on what happened?
You know, I want to be completely real with all of you right now. I had like this nice little thing to say to all of y'all to make you see what I really am, what my character is, what I've, you know, how much I've defended Danity Kane, how much I love this group, how much I've had this entire situation's back from the beginning. And then I, you know, heard what Puff said, and it brought me back to the haters and the blog sites and all the people that constantly want to call me a hoe and say that I don't represent women, and say that, you know, because I'm real and because I say what I feel, that you know, I'm disrespecting people as a woman. And I just want to really tell y'all the truth. I walked out of this building building, I was not going to come up here on this stage and just 5 minutes ago, because I'm so sick of having to defend myself as a woman, because I really, really believe in myself, and I really, really want people to get it so bad. But there comes a point where you just get so sick of doing it. But I want to tell you, I stopped myself, and I thought of all the people, because this isn't about me, this isn't about Danity Kane, this isn't about Puff, this isn't about any of the people you saw on stage tonight all gassed up and whatever. This is about life. We're all living it. We're all trying our best every day. And I know how many people are out there, and people are criticizing you, your job, your friends are calling you things, people are telling you you're something you're not, and you fight those struggles every day to just prove who you are. And at the end of the day, I turned around and came out here because that is what I represent, and I would rather be hated every damn day of my life for being real than loved for being something I'm not.
I believe that he fired Aubrey, one, because she did not succumb to his advances. Two, because he wanted her to feel powerless and question her worth.
But, you know, it is real life. And on the other side of it, at some point, too, we got to take accountability for our actions.
Totally.
Okay, is there anything that happened that you regret, or do you regret the way it ended?
Well, I don't have regrets in life, because I think even the things that I've done that I'm not so proud of have taught me how to be better in life. So, no, I absolutely have no regrets. I don't think any of the ladies sitting on this stage tonight have regrets. You know, we've fought. Okay. We haven't gotten along. Okay, we haven't trusted each other, and we've had moments where we weren't so honest or real or like the best of family to each other. Okay. But there is something that's going on with us 5 women that y'all will never know. And it's not in a disrespectful way, but it is family. And we have struggles that y'all will never know, that y'all will never see. And we have gotten through them together. Every time we have gotten through, we found the strength.
Aubrey, I don't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
Okay, when we come back, we'll find out. We'll find out those things they don't know. D Woods. Now, I know one thing I could count on with D Woods, and one of the things that make your personality so appealing and compelling to all these fans out here is your realness. So
thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask a real question.
Realness, not real. Come on now, let's go.
Give you an opportunity to set the record straight, no matter who's in this house. Why did Danity Kane split? Was it because of you guys? Was it because of Diddy? Why did you split up?
You know what? That's a very complicated question and with a very complicated answer. You know what I'm saying?
Give it to me straight. Give it to me straight.
I don't think I can really take this whole entire hour, you know, to tell you, because it is that long of an explanation.
Okay.
But what I will say, I'm going to answer, just wait a minute. What I will say is that it's something that started from the beginning, from actually the day we were chosen as a group. It's a very long process. There were a lot of things not in place.
Okay.
Wait, let me finish my answer. Like, this group was put together, and there was not a sound foundation for us to have a real chemistry. And so when you have so many things out of order, then the personal things started taking place.
So y'all weren't getting along.
It went from good to worse. I mean, from bad to worse.
Okay.
So I will definitely say a lot of professional things were not in order, and then a lot of personal things went out of whack. And so when you have both things not working, you don't have anything to stand on.
It's an explosion. Aubrey.
What's up? What's up, New York?
What? Get it. Do you? Okay, I got to have you sit down. Come on, I have to have you sit down.
All right, I'm sitting.
Great layout, by the way.
Sway, you got your copy or what? I heard you got 2.
I got 2 what? I got 3.
I heard you got 1 in the car
I got 3.
and 1 at home.
Exactly, and at my office. A lot of people blamed you for the breakup.
Sure did.
Did you watch the show? And also, there was a moment where Robert referred to Q as Aubrey when he thought the group was breaking up.
Yikes.
How does that make you feel?
You know, I battled with this answer, y'all. I really did, but this is the truth. Puff is a great man, and he taught us how to survive. Making the band taught us how to fight to survive. We spent, hold on, there's a point. This entire situation taught us how to survive, and that's what I see people doing right now. They're trying to survive, and I can't hate on that. I don't appreciate
and I don't like how certain people are going about trying to survive. But I have to say that after being kicked out, I learned a bigger lesson way beyond anything I learned here, which is you got to fight to stay happy, and that takes forgiveness for others.
Okay.
And that takes, hold up, I got the biggest one right here. Hold on.
Okay.
That takes forgiveness of yourself and the things that you wish you could have done to make the situation better. So I'm forgiving it all. I want to let it go. I want to shed it. I want to.
Well, this is what we're going to do.
Lean down on me.
This is what we're going to do.
I forgive you, Q. President of my fan club. Thank you, Q.
And earlier, Danity Kane singer Dawn Richard returned to the witness stand and testified that she saw Combs physically abuse Ventura, who wrapped up her 4 days of grueling testimony last week.
Said the abuse was so normalized that Diddy's security didn't step in. And that's when she said that included Harv Pierre, D-Rock, and Capricorn Clark.
All right, here we go. Today we have Roger Bonds again, Diddy's security from 2003 through 2012. So there was a situation on a yacht.
Right.
You were there, but you were around.
Right. Definitely.
So what was that situation over?
I can't tell you what the situation was over. I took them to where the yacht came and picked them up at. And Pup said, I don't need no security because it was just personal friends getting on the yacht. And then I picked them up when the yacht came back. And I seen Kim Knowles taped up. And it was whispers all around the office of everything that happened because his assistants were there and they was talking about it. He tried to say that she hit a table. But everybody in the office and everybody that was immediate around him knew exactly what happened.
Well, some of the stuff I've been saying is coming true, but all of the stuff that I say is true, and that's facts. You know what I'm saying? Just with this Cassie thing, I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
No, they don't want me to testify. I'm not testifying today. If I testify, he's going to be buried just on the shit he said about Dawn them. He actually, and I heard him, and I was law enforcement at the time. He said, I'm going to drug them and pimp them out. We had a whole conversation about that shit. But no, I'm not testifying, y'all. I don't think he's gonna walk because you gotta understand the racketeering and the prostitution and those charges right there. Paying prostitution is against the law. And the federal government, that's easy. You know, they got the receipts from that shit. So, no, he's not gonna walk.
And Dawn alleges that Diddy and Harv Pierre told her and others not to talk about what they saw. She also testified that Harv Pierre told her that Diddy would say it gets dark and lonely if you don't listen.
Don't get it twisted, man. It gets dark and lonely. It does, trust me.
They also grilled her about substances. Dawn had said that Diddy used the thing you do on 420, Molly, K, Snow. That she testified a dealer named One Stop had it all, including Plan B and birth control.
You'll be back on Monday? Dawn, you had a chance to chat with Cassie or like see Cassie? I know it's probably been years maybe for you trying to see like. Dawn, did he abuse you when you were in Danity, Kane?
We're not going to talk about the facts of the case right now.
What are the facts of the case? Can you tell us the facts? Dawn, what have you been up to or any music dropping? I know you're a artist first before anything. Where did you get your clothes, Dawn?
The outfit going into court that I first saw at the start of the morning was a bit of a tell for me. What I know, being the daughter of a lawyer, is there are so many hands that are put on you in regards to just visuals in a courtroom. We discussed having your children in there. We discussed gray hair, a pregnant belly. All these things are affecting the jury. So is a 3-piece suit with diamonds on a collar. It's certainly a choice. And then when you got into her testimony, It seems like she was inconsistent and not credible is what's being reported.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.